Alright, so we got Rani Yahya versus Ray Rodriguez. Ray Rodriguez will definitely be the bigger guy in there. He's got a 3-inch reach advantage, a 1-inch height advantage, and he just generally has the bigger frame, but, you know, Yahya's pretty used to giving up the size advantage in fights. He's not the biggest 135er. So yeah, we'll break down the striking of these two now. Let's get into it. Alright, so Yahya's whole game pretty much is trying to get you onto the fence. The way he does that is he'll feint, try to pressure you onto the fence, or he'll blitz in with a 1-2, try to make you take, you know, a few backward steps, and then hopefully you're close to the fence there and you can look for his double leg. So Ray Rodriguez, he can be easily pushed back, onto the back foot, takes it, you know, without much persuasion, and he's not really a counter puncher. He just kind of retreats on the back foot. He'll look for his own strikes every now and then, but yeah, he's not a huge volume guy or a very skilled counter puncher on the back foot. And also he'll lean back with his chin in the air to avoid right overhands or right straights, which is, you know, kind of dangerous against Yahya because he puts everything into that overhand right because he's not afraid of someone hitting a reactive double on him. But yeah, you know, he's got a fair bit of power in that right hand. I think he dropped Joe Soto with a right overhand, so it's just something to watch out for if you're Ray Rodriguez. Don't want to get too comfortable on the back foot. But, you know, Yahya, he does have a bit of a telegraph with his shots, especially when he throws the naked overhand right. He'll take a huge instep with his lead leg, and that's when you kind of know the overhand right is coming, when he steps out to his left. The ground is definitely where Yahya does his best work. He's got an array of takedowns, array of ways he can get opponents down onto the mat with him. So one of the ways, he'll take a back step, you know, normally he's on the front foot, but when he takes back steps, he's looking to set you up for like a reactive double. He's trying to get you to walk onto it. So yeah, if you're going to be predictably moving forward, he's going to take a few steps back and then shoot. Also, if you press him against the cage, he will pretty much look to slip your offense, duck under, and then kind of get 180 to you, same as Lomachenko tries to do, and then he'll go for his own shot as now you are closer to the cage fence than he is. But yeah, he's confident enough to pull guard with his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game. So if he can't get you down with takedowns, he will pull guard. He'll if he can't get the single leg, he'll most likely just kind of roll into a leg lock and try some kind of inverted guard like that. But he's also, yeah, very confident in his reversals when he's on the mat, so he will pull guard at times. He'll pull guard on a sprawled shot. Yeah. So for Ray Rodriguez, he kind of uses the same get up for every position. So he'll get the underhook, and then he'll hook the leg on the same side, and then he'll get onto the hip. He'll either get up and then go into a wrestling rider position, or he'll just escape. So yeah, when he gets onto the hip and he's got that underhook still, it's pretty much a 50-50 position, so it's up to him whether he wants to engage in another grappling situation or not. But yeah, generally his takedown defense isn't the greatest, so he's generally on bottom when his fights do hit the mat. But yeah, I got to give the scrambling advantage to Yahya, of course. But yeah, Ray doesn't have bad scrambles. It's just he's just against the scrambling master here. Alright, so how these guys win. For Yahya, he is a legit BJJ black belt. He has great submission defense. He's good at creating like a grappling environment, getting his opponent into a grappling match. You see a lot of his fights, they're very grapple heavy and they're very scramble heavy, even against opponents that you kind of wouldn't expect to be interested in that kind of match. But he's good at convincing them, I guess. Also, he's very successful in unorthodox scrambles. So yeah, he kind of thrives in that scrambly type match, and that's kind of how I expect this fight to go. For Ray Rodriguez, he's very tough. He's a tough guy. You can never really count him out. He's very durable. But yeah, generally, I'm not sure if he belongs in the UFC. Just based on his regional fights. But yeah, so how these guys lose. For Ray Rodriguez, we said it before, his takedown defense probably needs work. He can get controlled on the mat very easily, so that's not great when you're versing a submission and a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, world-class grappler like Rani Yahya. But Rani Yahya, if he can't get his grappling game on, he tends to struggle in fights. If his BJJ is nullified, gets in trouble, gasses pretty quick. Especially in like competitive fights, he'll gas pretty much after 2 rounds. He has 2 good rounds of scrambling and, just grappling transitions, and then he'll just pretty much have nothing left in the 3rd round. And we saw that in the Enrique Barzola fight. Alright, so path to victories for these guys. We'll start with Ray Rodriguez. He needs to let his hands go when Yahya is going to be standing with you, like immediately. Don't have time to settle into the fight. He's going to shoot fairly quickly. You just need to let your hands go, like as soon as he's standing with you, at the start of the bell, pretty much. And if he does tend to tire, he does tend to tire, so, look to put it on him late, look to really up the pressure in the 3rd round if he's tired. Because if it's a non-competitive fight and Yahya's just controlling him on the mat for the first 2 rounds, that's going to be the same in the 3rd round. Like, that's not how he gets tired. He'll be a little bit gassed. I'll probably say Ray has the cardio advantage, but that's just not how you get him absolutely depleted. But also, elbows in the clinch. Just look to stay away from the fence, really, for Ray Rodriguez. I know that's going to be hard with his style, but yeah, just what I can recommend. For Yahya, so Ray's going to be throwing a lot of kicks, most likely, so try catch one, work a single, try to get the respect with the hands early so he doesn't get too comfortable in the feet. Also, pull guard if you're not having any success with the takedowns. I believe you would be able to reverse him just via like a leg lock sweep or something like that pretty easily if you were to pull guard. Also, just the general game plan of fades and the blitz 1-2 to push him back to the fence and then work your takedowns. Alright, so how I see this one going, my opinion, I think it's going to be another Yahya, kind of special. He's just going to feint Ray to the fence, throw a few strikes, shoot, get him down, and probably sub him not long after. In my opinion, I think that happens really quick. I think Ray needs to survive the onslaught of, 1.5 rounds at least, and needs to come on heavy late if he wants to have any chance at like a draw or a late finish. But in my opinion, Yahya's going to have no problem like controlling him on the mat or even getting a submission early. But yeah, I think Ray, he has to rely on that kind of like a counter knee or something like that, like something special, some kind of Hail Mary if he wants to win, because I think his takedown defense is not good. I think Yahya's going to take him down real easily, control him for the first 2 rounds, or just get a submission fairly quickly. But yeah, so the prediction is Yahya by sub, probably round 1. Alright, so I line this fight about 68-32 in favour of Yahya. So at the moment, this line, it's a little bit too juiced for Yahya. Just the type of style that he employs, it's hard to trust him at that kind of price because, like he's getting a favourable matchup here, but these days, that kind of style just isn't going to cut it anymore. People people are just getting too well-rounded and too good with their anti-wrestling and anti-grappling these days. But yeah, Ray Rodriguez, he's not to that level yet, in my opinion. So yeah, I think Yahya wins pretty easily, but I'm not touching him at that price. I'm not touching Ray Rodriguez either. Another thing I might be looking at is the sub prop. If it's like, if it's like $2.90 to $3, I might put a little bit on it, because I do think he subs him, the majority of the time that he wins this fight. But yeah, something I'll be looking at. So yeah, just look at my betting page, see if I bet it or not by fight night, and then you'll know if I'm on it or not. But at the moment, not touching the money lines.